Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Your DEI Strategy for 2025, Practical Tools for Workplace Success. I'm Rhoda Ogunwehi, founder of RQ Consult and author of Amazon bestseller, Not Too Small for Inclusion. Today, we're here to discuss actionable steps you can take to transform your workplace through diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI for short. By the end of this session, you'll have practical tools you can use right away to build a more inclusive and equitable work environment. So let's get started. Here's what we'll be covering today. First, we'll talk about why DEI is critical in 2025 and some key trends shaping the workplace. Next, we'll dive into the three pillars of a successful DEI strategy: building an inclusive culture, embedding equity in policies, and measuring success to stay accountable. Then I'll share practical tips and real examples you can learn from. Finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session and outline next steps to help you take action. So feel free to jot down your questions as we go along, and I'll address them in the Q&A segment. Let's begin by looking at why DEI is so important in 2025. First, here are some key trends to watch. Inclusive leadership. So, organizations need leaders who actively create a sense of belonging for everyone. Technology and DEI, so artificial intelligence, is revolutionizing recruitment, making it easier to eliminate bias and ensure inclusivity in hiring, as long as the language models are trained to identify this bias. Gen Z priorities. Younger employees care deeply about diversity, sustainability, and ethical practices. And these are the values driving the future of work. The business case for DEI is stronger than ever. Studies show 75% of employees prefer inclusive workplaces. That's from Deloitte. Companies with diverse leadership are 35% more likely to outperform competitors, according to McKinsey. So DEI isn't just the right thing to do, it's a competitive advantage. As the saying goes, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So you can have the best DEI policies on paper, but without an inclusive culture, they won't stick. Here's how to build one. Establish clear, inclusive values and make sure they're communicated throughout your organization. Create employee resource groups or ERGs. These groups, they give employees from diverse backgrounds a platform to connect and share ideas. And then you normalize conversations about topics like mental health, neurodiversity, menopause, and cultural awareness. When you take these steps, you create a workplace where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Now, let's talk about embedding equity into your workplace policies. So, fairness isn't about treating everyone the same, it's about giving people the support they need to thrive. That's equity. Here's how you can apply equity in your practice. Conduct bias audits in your recruitment processes. For example, try anonymizing CVs to reduce unconscious bias. Then introduce flexible working policies to accommodate diverse needs, whether it's for parents or carers or those with disabilities. Then regularly review your pay and promotion gaps to ensure everyone has equal access to opportunities. Let me quickly share a client success story with you. A retail company came to me with a big challenge. They were losing too many working parents. Their parental leave policies just weren't working, and employees felt unsupported. I stepped in, listened to their team, and reviewed their policies. It was clear that they needed more flexibility and fairness. Together, we introduced equitable parental leave, added flexible work options, and make sure employees actually knew about these changes. And the result, turnover among parents dropped by 35% in under a year. Morale improved, and they started attracting better talent too. A small shift in equity made a huge difference. Here in the UK, for example, about 75% of mothers and 92% of fathers with dependent children are employed. according to the recent stats from Office for National Statistics. So these figures, they show that there's a significant proportion of working population are parents, highlighting the importance of workplace policies that support work-life balance and those with caregiving responsibilities. Now we're on to measuring your progress, and that's key to ensuring your DEI strategy is successful. Remember, what gets measured gets done. So here are some ways to stay accountable. Use employee surveys to measure belonging and inclusion. Ask for honest feedback and act on it. Set smart DEI goals, so specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. For example, aim to increase diverse leadership by 20%. Share DEI progress reports with your team and stakeholders. Transparency builds trust and shows you're serious about change. So when you measure and share your progress, you're turning your intentions into actions. Let's recap what we've covered today. First, we talked about why DEI is critical in 2025 and how trends like inclusive leadership, technology, and Gen Z values are shaping the workplace. Then we explored the three pillars of a successful DEI strategy: building an inclusive culture, embedding equity in policies, and measuring success. These steps are actionable and achievable. So start small, but think big, because even small changes can lead to significant results. Also, my book, Not Too Small for Inclusion, is packed with practical strategies that can help you on your inclusion journey. You can buy that on Amazon. And that's a quick overview of your DI strategy for 2025. Now, let's take some time for your questions so we can look at anything you'd like to explore further. I'd love to hear your thoughts or any questions you have about what we've covered today. Right, I've got a couple, so let's take a few to keep to time. First one: how can small businesses start implementing DEI strategies if they don't have a dedicated team or budget? Great question. The good news is that DEI doesn't require a huge budget or a dedicated team to get started. For small businesses, the first step is to integrate DEI into your core values and daily practices. So start by conducting a quick audit of your current policies and culture. Look for any gaps or areas where employees may not feel included. Then build small, meaningful changes, such as offering flexible working options, ensuring your recruitment processes are free from bias, and fostering open conversations about diversity and inclusion, topics like neurodiversity, menopause, etc. Remember, the key is consistency and commitment, even if it's just one step at a time. Next question: what are some practical ways to get leadership on board with DEI initiatives, especially if they're skeptical about its impact? To win leadership support, it's important to tie DEI directly to business outcomes. So start by presenting data that shows the positive impact of DEI on performance and productivity. For example, research from McKinsey that shows companies with diverse leadership are 35% more likely to outperform their competitors. You can also propose small pilot projects or initiatives to demonstrate quick wins and tangible benefits like increasing disability inclusion in a team. Show leadership that DEI isn't just a nice to have, it's a strategic business opportunity. Next question: how do you measure the success of DEI initiatives beyond employee surveys? Surveys are great, but they only tell part of the story. So to get a fuller picture, I recommend tracking key metrics such as promotion rates across diverse groups, pay equity, and turnover rates for underrepresented employees. Another powerful method is to measure participation in DEI programs, such as the number of employees joining your ERG groups, your employee resource groups, or attending training sessions. You can also look at how well diverse teams are collaborating and innovating. This is where you need your team leads. So these data points, combined with employee feedback, will give you a more comprehensive view of your DEI progress. So let's take two more questions. What steps can organizations take to ensure that DEI is embedded into their hiring process and not just a checkbox? To truly embed DEI into hiring, start by eliminating unconscious bias at every stage of the process. For example, anonymize CVs to focus on skills and qualifications without being influenced by name, gender, or ethnicity. Train your hiring managers to recognize and address bias during interviews. Additionally, create clear criteria for job descriptions and promotions to ensure they're inclusive and accessible to diverse candidates. Finally, involve a diverse group of people in the hiring process to ensure multiple perspectives are considered in the decision making. And the final question, can you share more examples of how companies have successfully tackled unconscious bias in the recruitment or promotion processes? Absolutely. So, one example is a tech company that I worked with. They adopted an anonymous recruitment process by removing identifying details in their CVs and interview evaluations. They found that this simple change significantly increased the number of diverse candidates shortlisted. Another example is a law firm that introduced diverse panels for interviews to ensure that promotions and hiring decisions were scrutinized by multiple people from different backgrounds. So, by having a variety of voices involved, they were able to reduce bias and improve diversity in their leadership teams. Now that we've explored these strategies, it's time to take action. I'm offering a free 1 hour consultation to help you tailor a DEI strategy that works for your organization. You can schedule your session by visiting my website or emailing me directly. I'll share these details in the next slide and also to your provided email. So don't wait. Take the first step today toward building a workplace where everyone feels that they belong truly. So, thank you so much for attending today's webinar. I hope you found the sessions valuable and that you're feeling inspired to take your DI efforts to the next level. If you have any questions or would like to discuss how I can support your organization, please reach out via email or connect with me on LinkedIn. My email showing on the screen, info at rq-consult.com. So let's work together to make workplaces more inclusive and successful for everyone. So if you found this webinar helpful, please like, comment, or subscribe. Don't forget to check out my book, Not Too Small for Inclusion, on Amazon. I'll send out a follow-up email with additional resources and keep an eye out for that. Until then, stay inclusive and I'll see you next time.